of it. Like, if somebody wants to steal one of my samples and it's a hit song, like, we have all the leverage. Like, why would I be worried about it? I wasn't the most consistent sending stuff out, but that also creates demand. You can't just pay somebody random to do a paid collab and they say guaranteed placement, because that's not real. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't really trust A&Rs like that. I can't ever see myself going on Instagram and just like ranting about how like I didn't get certain thing paid or like somebody stole my loop or something. I'm so much more than a producer. I'm like more of an entrepreneur. We're really running a business here. We're gonna continue to build, bro. What Daniel's doing with this too is like, it's special. You got your own little lane that nobody's really feeling. So, you know, I'm super excited for what you got coming as well.
Thank you, bro. Yeah, trying to.
Calling back, got some keys.
All right, welcome back, everyone, for the second episode of the Producer Royalty Podcast. I'm really grateful for everybody who tuned in for the first episode. The feedback has been amazing so far. In this episode, I sat down with my friend AyoSim. He's a platinum producer with credits with Lil Baby, Lil Durk, Gunna, G Herbo, Meek Mill, Rick Ross, and a lot others as well. In my opinion, Sim is destined to be one of the biggest producers in the game in only a few years, so it was a blessing to host his first sit-down interview. One thing I love about Sim is you could feel his passion for not just the art of being a producer, but also the social elements that could really take your career to the next level. And after this episode, you'll have a much clearer picture of what it looks like to be an industry producer, but also how to develop the mindset and the connections that you need to succeed. He tells the story of moving to Atlanta, how he built his relationship with ATL Jacob, what to look for in an entertainment attorney, how to build an online community. And he also talks about how he puts together his signature sample packs. And to express his gratitude for all of y'all who tuned in for this interview, Sim is giving away his Back to the Moon sample pack and multi-kit for 20% off. If you don't know already, Sim produced that entire sample from Back to the Moon by Gunna. And a few months ago, he dropped this kit, which includes 25 original samples, over 100 drum sounds, over 100 one-shots, and an original drum and melody MIDI. If you want to check out some of the sounds, I've included a link to the sample version of that kit, which includes just a couple of those sounds, and you can check that out in the description below. And if you're interested in purchasing the full kit, all you have to do is DM Sim on Instagram and mention Producer Royalty. And only the first 50 producers to reach out to Sim on Instagram will receive 20% off that kit. Sim does not make these packs very often, so he puts a lot of time and attention into them, as you're about to hear in this episode. So I'd recommend not sleeping on it. This is also a great opportunity to start building a connection with one of the industry's most up-and-coming producers. All right, now thank you for listening to that intro. Now let's hop into the episode. All right, welcome back to another episode of the Producer Royalty Podcast. I am feeling so grateful today to be with you, my brother. How you doing, Sim?
Hey, man, I'm doing good, bro. Appreciate you reaching out about this. I'm great.
Great? Yeah.
I'm great.
Yeah. Nah, it's great to connect with you in person because, like, well, we haven't known each other that long, but for me, we've known each other a long time because I've only been in the producer space like a year and a half, like a year and a half, almost 2 years. And you were one of the first producers I really got to know personally because I was working with Adam Freedman at the time. So, you know, you're one of Adam's clients. So, yeah.
Yeah, man, it's been a long time with Adam. He's always looked out as well. So we'll get more into that like as we talk. But.
So the last interview you did was with KXVI. I don't want to, go back and make you talk about all the same things you talk about with KXVI, but like since that time with KXVI, how have things changed for you, and how has you've adapted your approach to the industry or just your life in general?
I think, man, I think I did that last year around this time. But even with that, with KXVI, like that whole situation, because I think I was still at home, or I was either in LA or I was at home. But regardless, moving back to Atlanta is kind of what's changed everything, and just being out here because this really feels like home for me now. Because I spent a couple years here before LA, and then now that I'm back out here, it's like, yeah, this is definitely my spot, and this is where most people are coming for music anyways. It's like here, LA, but I definitely prefer here.
Yeah, do you prefer here?
I prefer here.
Yeah, so for you, a lot of producers, a lot of people in general, making that trip and just moving out here and moving to a new city by themselves, it takes a while for them to get comfortable. Did it take you a while to really get settled in and feel good?
Man, I can't lie, bro. When I first came out here, I was like probably like 19 or 20. I was 20, so I'm around like college kids.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I wasn't like I had college without actually having to do the work. So weekends would be like, all right, I'm hitting the frat parties and all that kind of stuff. So it was lit, bro. I can't lie.
Wait, you went to college over here?
I didn't.
You
but
didn't.
like
You
I
were
just
around
reached out.
college
I
over
reached
here.
out to guys that were like, I lived around GSU, Georgia State campus.
Okay.
So I got the chance to like be around those people and network with guys out there, even if it was just for going out and finding friends and shit like that. But I didn't feel lonely at all, bro. I had a lot of fun coming out here and like fully just diving in. Because ATL Jacob was the first one I was like, all right, yeah, like you need to come out to Atlanta. You need to move out here. And, I was like, right when he said that, I was like, yeah, this has got to be what I need to do. Yeah. So then ever since then, bro, it's like that's the best move I ever made. And I had to grow up quick. You know, there would be some times where I'd be quiet as hell by myself all day, but it's like that comes with, you know, sacrifices like that. I could have stayed in New York, but I wouldn't have gotten what I got right now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. You had an interesting perspective you shared on the Kavi show where you said don't move to the city until you had a good amount of connections already tapped in from that. So you felt like you had that already when you moved out here?
Absolutely, bro. And that's what, like, I feel like a lot of people kind of, you know, it's, of course you can come out here and just kind of have a plan set like right when you come out here, but it's going to help so much if you kind of, you know, you got things lined up for you. So right when you come out here, you don't even have to pick up the phone. It's like people are reaching out to you.
Yeah.
Like, that's what you kind of want.
Yeah.
You know?
You preach the value of traveling, you know, a lot too.
Yeah,
so when you go to like, well, do you feel like you make the best music when you're traveling, or is it one of those things that just kind of opens your mind creatively and network and that type of stuff?
I think it's like the idea of just like getting out of your regular routine. That's like the biggest thing for me when it comes to traveling, because it's like, you know, you're so, especially when I'm out here, you know, I'm used to like, all right, Monday through Friday, I'm waking up certain time, I'm doing this at a certain time, networking this, like, you know, all that kind of stuff. But when I'm on some kind of like trip, it's like, all right, whatever comes is gonna come, and I'm just gonna have to adjust to it.
Okay.
And that's what kind of makes it so like motivating, inspiring. Like, anytime I have one of those trips, I get back, I'm like, man, I got to do this more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So and you're probably gonna feel the same way about coming out here, bro.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I hope so. I'm definitely not comfortable yet, but it's only been 2 days. Yeah. You talk about the value of a daily routine on some Instagram posts and on Discord and stuff like that. So what does it really look like if you had to really, you know, articulate what that is and put it into a structure?
Bro. I've always been big on like routine. You know, I think that's what helps me so much, is because like if you look at it over like a span of a year, you know, it's like you get so much done just sticking to a certain routine. And it's like, for me, I'll wake up every day around 8 a.m. I try to wake up at 8. You know, if I want to snooze for a couple of minutes, that's fine. But like go to sleep around midnight, wake up at 8. And then it depends on the day. You know, if I want to work out first thing in the morning, I'll get that out the way. And then like I said before, bro, I'll have like each hour kind of like set for a certain thing. Like, all right, you need to network at this time to this time to this time. And then, you know, even like reading for 30 minutes after lunch, whatever it may be, bro, all that little stuff helps me so much. But it's like having the freedom of not having a job, doing this full time is what makes that so like flexible. You know what I'm saying? So it's
so now you're in a spot where, you know, you have the relationships, you're sending the music out, it's getting placements, like with you probably not having to work nearly as hard as you used to have to, obviously, right? So now you said something that surprised me. You said going to sleep at 12 a.m. I know that's not a normal producer schedule like that. So is that like a newfound thing for you?
I'm gonna be real, bro. Like, it just depends on the day. If I have a studio, like a session where it's like, all right, we're going late, then it's like the whole schedule doesn't matter. Like whatever I have right there in front of me is gonna be the priority, you know. So it's like if I got, you know, a session with Jacob at like 10 p.m. or something, and we go until like 3, 4, whatever it may be, it's like, yeah, that's fine, you know. And then I'll just kind of adjust the next day. I wake up early even when I go to sleep late, bro. I just feel like that's something that a lot of people have in common, where it's like if you're trying to, you know, just get a lot of stuff done, it's like you feel like you're wasting time sleeping. Yeah. But it's not like that happens every single night. Okay. So it's realistic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So when you so I know you're big on setting goals for yourself, of course.
Yeah.
It seems like, So when you set goals, do you set a time frame for those goals, or do you kind of more so set it and just make sure you're moving in the right direction? Because sometimes when you're setting goals and you put a time frame on it, people get discouraged when they don't hit it in a certain time. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna be honest with you. So about setting goals, and I think I've talked about this with like the guys in my Discord, where it's like I don't really set goals like that. I just I'm really big on just showing up and just kind of like getting whatever I can get today done is like the most important thing. I'm not even worried about couple years down the line. I'm just like, whatever I can do today to get better at what I'm doing is the most important thing to me. And like, as long as I do that every single day, I keep showing up, like I'm gonna see results. So I've never been one like to draw on the whiteboard, and I'm not like, there's nothing wrong with that. I know a lot of guys who do that and it works well for them. Yeah. But I've never been one to like go to the whiteboard and, you know, say, all right, I'm gonna make 10 loops this week. I'm gonna make 10 beats this week. Like I've never done that. Like I just think showing up and having this consistent schedule is what has gotten me so far.
Yeah, that makes sense. A lot of people get a little bit too attached and they try to copy other people's methods for getting where they get.
But and then when they don't get it, then they get really like down on themselves. Yeah, that's the one thing about setting goals that people don't like really see is like, all right, you set these goals and you don't achieve them, you feel down. And that's what I don't want to feel. You know, I feel like if I just go at my own pace and kind of accomplish things as I go, it's like, all right, I have no reason to feel down if I don't get something that somebody else got.
That makes sense. So you talk about a lot on your Instagram post. You probably said like 5 times, don't compare.
Don't
compare. They're going to say don't compare. So why is don't compare so important to you?
Because honestly, bro, it's like I've seen it firsthand. You know, like when I first started coming out here working with like guys like Future and just wanting to be on the albums and not making the albums and being like, damn, all my boys are on the album. I want to be on this album. And like just having that feeling like, man, I worked so hard for this. I got so many unreleased songs with Future. None of them are on the album, but it's like over time you start to realize it's just like a battle with yourself. Like this whole thing is just about, okay, like you're not on Future's album. What are you gonna do about it? What are you gonna do about it? You know what I'm saying? It's either you sit around and weep about it, or you say, all right, you know what? Let this motivate me to just be even better as a producer and just as a person and just like work towards bigger things.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like that's what kind of that mindset has helped me so much this past year, to be honest, because this is like the time where, you know, the placement started to come in, and then that's when you start like comparing yourself to other guys, like, oh shit, I want to be like him, you know, like whoever's getting more placements. But then it's like, man, like just focus on yourself, bro. You got plenty of guys that look up to you already, so it's like, why not just fulfill, you know, what you kind of have in store? Like, it don't got to be about other people all the time.
Yeah. So has your strategy for getting placements evolved as your career has progressed?
For sure, absolutely. I think one of the main things for me, bro, is like that personal connection. You know, like being able to call somebody just right. Even if I just lock in with somebody for the first time, I'll call them right away. We chop it up for a good 5 minutes.
What's lock in for you?
It could be through Instagram DM. Like if I, like let's say somebody was on NBA YoungBoy's album, his recent album. I might reach out to somebody and be like, yo, I love what you did on the album. Lock me in. Here's my number. Boom. All right, we got that connect. And then right when he texts me, I'm gonna FaceTime him. FaceTime is different from calls. You know what I'm saying? FaceTime is different from calls.
1,000,000%. You did that with me, bro. I've noticed that myself. Like we locked it on FaceTime. You're probably the only client of Adam's I actually FaceTime, bro. I'm not even gonna lie. We talked for like 30 minutes. Like,
that's what I'm saying. It really works. Like actually putting your face out there to people, you know, and that right away kind of sets you apart from most people they're working with. You know what I'm saying? For most guys, it's just texting like, yo, what's your loop email? Let's lock in. Let's just start making music. But it's like, nah, I'm trying to do more than that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that definitely makes sense.
So that's kind of my approach on like just that helps with placements for sure. 100%, bro. It's like having that person. Because it's not like you're just trying to get something out of the person. You know, it's like you really are trying to build with this person and get to know them and see what their story is a little bit and stuff like that.
Yeah. So where do they usually come from nowadays? Is it you sending loops out? Is it you in the studio? I'm sure it depends, of course. You know,
yeah, Jacob. It's a mix of things, bro. I think most of the stuff I have with Jacob, like we've done in person. A lot of times we'll lock in person and like what kind of it's crazy because it's been plenty of times where like we're cooking up for a specific artist and we'll hit it on the head, bro. Like we'll be like I'll know exactly what to give to Jacob and he'll just go crazy on the drums, whatever it may be, add to the melody. And we'll send it out and boom, like we got one, you know? But again, like location, like when I was out in LA, that's when the Gunna shit came about. Yeah. And that's where like me and my boy Kenny stunting, cause he's a co-producer on it. He's the one that did the drums on it. Like he was just pulling up on me. We were just locked in. We were just working. He produced
both my favorite songs of the album. Go Crazy and Back to Blue. My favorite was.
Kenny's hard, man. We working on more stuff, you know? We got plenty of stuff in the vault. And it wouldn't have been possible without him. So it's like, you know, it's fire because we connected outside of the music too. You know, he was just pulling up on me. We just chop it up, and then it was like, boom, yo, let's make some crazy shit for Gunna.
Yeah. How was that LA trip for you? It looked like that was a beautiful spot. That shit looked crazy.
That was amazing, bro. I got to go back ASAP to be honest and just see everybody.
What made you choose Atlanta over LA?
I think just being from the East Coast, bro. Yeah. Being from New York, you know, like LA was great, but I honestly kind of felt lonely out there. Like. There was a lot of musicians to work with and stuff, but like when I came out here for the first time, I was like, all right, I'm around guys my age. I'm making friends out here. Like LA wasn't like that. LA was like, all right, we're working. But like even just the people out there, I don't even know like how to explain it, but it was just like, it was different, bro. Like the West Coast is just different.
Wow, I kind of would expect the opposite. I haven't really been to LA myself. This is my first time in Atlanta, so I kind of would have expected the opposit. I would expect LA to feel a little bit closer to New York, but what the fuck do I know? I don't know
that shit was different, bro. But again, I got a lot of work done. You know, like you give up certain things to get other stuff. So
So with Jacob, you said initially with Jacob you connected just from shooting your shot through the DMs, right?
Yeah,
like just tagging him and all that.
That's how we tapped in first was Instagram. And I always kind of stress that to the guys on like my Discord and stuff where it's like, bro, like you don't, like people sleep on the value of like social media and Instagram and having an outreach on there. Like guys are looking, bro. People are always on Instagram. Even if it's somebody you think wouldn't respond, like they might even see your DM. Like it's like you might as well just shoot your shot. It's like, it's worth it every single time.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you most of the guys that are producing aren't even like reaching out to people.
Yeah.
You feel me? So it's like.
Were you big on other people's Discords before you started your own Discord? Like
honestly, Kavi was the one that kind of put me on the Discord. Kavi was the one that let me know like, yo, get on Discord, you can have a whole audience that's like you can reach out to everybody at the same time, and they can get so much value from you.
Word. So yeah, so tell me about Discord, because that's something I want to step into. So, and I'm sure a lot of other producers should be stepping into it a lot more than they actually are. So like, how do you approach Discord, and do you have any sort of recommendations for getting a Discord started?
Bro, that's the thing. Like with a lot of stuff, it's like we're kind of, I wouldn't say intimidated, but there's something where it's like we don't want to get into something. Even for me with like recording with cameras and like OBS and getting all the content, it's like we just got to do it.
Yeah.
You know, but it's like even with Discord, like I'll take an hour on YouTube real quick to just learn how the program works real quick, and then you figure it out, and it's like, all right, this is easy, bro. Like I can really like customize this to be my own thing, where it's like, all right, I got a whole server for me, and like whoever wants to work with me, lock in with me, Discord is the best way to do it.
Like they're in there for you. Like
exactly, bro.
They're spending mad time in there.
And not only that,
really
bro, it's like
brand.
they get to build with everyone else in like the Discord. You feel me? Where it's like they kind of like you have a whole like army of guys who are kind of working together now. It's like you don't even have to be involved.
Yeah. Even
though you are, you know what I'm saying? It's just like if you were to drop dead tomorrow, like they would still be working together. They would still be locked in. Like so it's fire, bro. It's
word. So for people who haven't checked it out before, what do you got in your Discord?
So there's with the whole Discord thing, bro, it's like it's more than, because before it was like it was all about paid collabs and sending people stuff out and stuff like that. But now,
or just in general?
yeah, just in general, like just in general, like people be doing paid collabs, which is great. You know, that's fine. Like of course, you gotta find people to trust before you do that. You know, you can't just pay somebody random to do a paid collab and they say guaranteed placement, because that's not real. You can't get a guaranteed placement. But there's no real like teachers or mentors in this stuff. You know, you kind of got to learn. There are some, you got to really find them, but like you really need to learn this stuff yourself. You need to teach yourself this stuff. But there's guys like me who are like, all right, let me, you know, I have plenty of stuff on my plate, but it's like I have time to go ahead, and I wish there was somebody where when I was coming up, somebody was doing what I'm doing now, where it's like, all right, you can kind of give these people value, where it's like, even if you just get on there and just spit some game about what you learned last week in the studio with Jacob or in the studio with Future, whatever it may be, like they can really use that stuff as producers, as motivation, as inspiration, whatever it may be. And then also just like, you know, I'm getting like music together. So if I'm working with Gunna or somebody like that, I'm kind of A&Ring their stuff as well, which is fire. Like it's dope for me, because it's like I might hear an idea and I might be like, you know, let me add to this. So it's not just the A&R role where it's like, because honestly, bro, I'm gonna be real with you, I don't really trust A&Rs like that. Like I feel like, because as musicians, we have a better ear than A&Rs. It's like, why they're just kind of like filling our role, but it's like we have the ear for it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if we have the music and we also have like the personality to be like somebody that's more than just a producer, it's like, why do I need it? You know what I'm saying? No shade to no A&Rs, but it's just like
1,000,000% that makes sense though.
That's what I'm thinking about, bro. It's like
sure. You got that. So I was thinking when I was looking at your Discord, I was trying to see, like, you know, I see you sharing, you have a specific, what do you call it, a channel? Or
you got categories and then you got channels.
Okay, yeah. I think you have a channel for gems, or where you're just dropping gems that you've seen or sharing other things that you've seen. And I see you sharing, like, loops and all that type of stuff. So I was trying to think in my head, like, what's the value that you're getting from it? Like, as a person, you know, obviously the community is getting value. So you're getting opportunities to, like, well, I'll let you articulate it.
That's a great question, bro. And I think it's, like, it's working with people with kind of, like, different just sounds and different ideas. And also, not only that, it's like the best feeling in the world for me is like being able to be somebody's inspiration. And then not only that, like being able to work with them and like kind of show them like, yo, this is the way to do this. You feel me? And it's like, for them, they come to me and they're like, yo, like, I'm so glad you did this for me. Like, that's the best feeling in the world for me, bro. Is like to be able to inspire somebody and really like fulfill what they want to do. Like, and that's there's no strings attached. There's nothing. It's just genuine. Like, that makes me feel better. Yeah. You know? So it's like, why wouldn't I want more of that, where it's like, I feel like I'm putting in for somebody else. And then not only that, but it's like, I'm motivating them. I'm not just spoon feeding them. It's not like that. It's like, they need to still put the work in, but whoever's putting in the work is going to, you know, be like, rewarded like the same way. And it's kind of like the way Jacob has been with me, where it's like he sees whoever on the team is working the hardest, he's gonna reward them, of course, you know. And it's like that's kind of how this game goes, bro. And I love that, you know what I'm saying? It's and like,
just wanted to quickly say, if you want to join Sim's Discord, I put a link in the description below. I would highly recommend it if you want to find a community of like-minded producers. Sim does an incredible job running it, so if you're interested in hosting your own Discord, I would definitely check this one out for reference.
You know what I'm saying? It's
and you do the paid consultations too now, which is seems like you're approaching that in a really deliberate, helpful encouraging way from the way that you're at least marketing it, from what you've reposted from other people say too. So I think that seems like a great opportunity. So how do those usually go?
Bro, I love doing the consultations because
Yeah.
it's just one-on-one. We just sit down and we just kind of chop it up for like however long it may be, you know, and it's like I kind of cater it to whoever needs it. Like if somebody feels like they need more help with like, yo, like how do I get in more sessions? I'm in Atlanta, like what should I do from here? Or even if it's like, all right, like I'm a starter, I need work, like how do I utilize FL Studio and how do I start, you know, what plugins do I need and stuff like that. Like it's always good to just be able to chip in and just let them know what I'm using or what I'm doing in the studio, like whatever it may be, whatever they feel like they need. And that's like, it's always a good conversation, bro, because it's always bigger than the consultation itself as well. You know what I'm saying? Because even after the consultation, we always stay tapped in. We always chop it up and whatever they need help with, or even if I need help, you know, something that they may be like better at, like I might hit them up and be like, yo, like how do I use this?
Yeah, I love that you say that though. It's always bigger than the consultation because a lot of people don't approach it like that.
Yeah,
so it's like you and I can tell how genuine you're being about that.
For
so,
sure,
yeah,
bro.
Yeah, damn, that's amazing. So with Jacob, how did your relationship evolve to the point where it's like, all right, now we're officially locked in, and then you signed to him? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think it's a mix of a lot of things, bro. I think one of the biggest things that I didn't really like realize until now is just the idea of like loyalty and just like I saw a post the other day where it's like you can like if person A got you in the room, like don't just work with person B just because you're in that room anymore. Like of course you can work with that person, but it's like don't forget person A is the one that got you in the room. You know, like you wouldn't have been in this position if it wasn't for person A. And a lot of people forget that in this industry and just in general in life, you know what I'm saying? Like there's certain guys like Jacob has changed my life for sure. He's put me in rooms that I wouldn't have been able to do myself. And it's like, I can't ever forget that. I can't just like, because I know I'm talented. I know I got the music aspect down, but it's like sometimes you need somebody to get you in. And once you get in, it's like, you can't forget the guys that were looking out for you in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of just like how we've built that relationship. And not only that, like Jacob's just been genuine. Anytime I need some help on so whatever it may be, he's always willing to just chip in. I'll be like, yo, like hit me whenever you got a chance. And he'll call me up real quick and like we'll just chop it up about whatever it may be, how to handle the situation. And, you know, ever since like the start, that's kind of how it's been. And he's always plugging me in with new guys. And not only that, bro, I think the favorite thing I've like that he's done for me is throw me in a session and just leave.
Really?
Like he's done that before where he'll just kind of
like what?
like
How does that look?
Because it's like he wants to see how I'm gonna do. So it's like he might just throw me in a room and he tells me he's gonna be there too, and then he might just like tell everybody like, yo, I'm gonna be down the street, I'm gonna be locked in the studio with somebody else, and then like it's on me. The rest of it's on me. I'm either gonna make mistakes or I'm gonna, and even if I do make mistakes, I'm gonna learn from them. But it's like I love that where it's like he just kind of like throws me out there to just kind of do shit myself and learn from it or kill it. You feel me? So it's like that's a really good like structure we've had since.
Would you recommend producers signing with other producers? Like of course it depends, but like you know, is there anything that you would feel like to look out for or anything like that?
You know what's crazy, bro? Is like when I first brought that up to Adam. When I first reached out to Adam, like, yo, like Jacob's trying to sign me, he was like, oh, why would you sign to another producer? Like, he was so against it.
Yeah, Adam's not really a big fan of that.
And then right when he kind of saw the terms, he was like, all right, like this doesn't look too bad. And you know, even now, me and Adam always talk about it. Like, yeah, Jacobs has been like genuine as hell. Like, this has been the best relationship you can have with somebody in the industry like that you've signed to. And
because
it's like,
from his perspective, it's like, why sign to them? You can still collab with them and not sign with them.
Right.
So
I think there's plenty of benefits that come with that, bro. I think it's like it's more than just like, yeah, of course I could have like, let's say I just worked with Jacob, I never signed to him. Like, we wouldn't have we wouldn't have the relationship we have now, where it's like he might hit me up about certain opportunities and plays that he wouldn't hit me up about if I wasn't signed to him. It's not only that though. It's like you kind of build a brotherhood in this, and I think it's so important to find a team. You know, it's like you can only get so much done by yourself. So it's like if you have somebody that is kind of like where you want to be at, that's trying to mentor you and trying to like be like, yo, listen, if you follow these steps, you can really be somebody that's like next up. Like,
yes,
you need to know their true intentions though. That's the most important thing, you know, because there's a lot of guys in this industry who are really just trying to take advantage, and you know that's like any industry, I feel like. But once you kind of find those, especially in this industry, you know,
take advantage of creatives, you don't know the business. But
yeah, bro. Once you find those, you know, certain guys who are genuine and are really looking out, like put your all into them, you know, and it's like the whatever you guys build together is gonna be.
I feel you. How do you feel like he was, like, what was his pitch at the point where he was like, yo, this is what I will, like, was it like a, you know, let's just kind of make this official? So, first I want to say, just to add to what you're saying, like, when you're on Jacob's position, there's a million people that you could work with. Like you kind of have to choose, see who, like you said, like who's really serious about working with me. You know what I mean? So it's not necessarily, and to get cut in a little bit on what's going on. So, So how did he pitch his kind of, what it would be like to work with him, I guess?
And I love that question because like he didn't pitch nothing to me.
Really? Yeah.
It was me being like, yo, what could come out of this could be like exactly what you need to get into this and really make moves, is because like that's the biggest green flag for me, is when somebody's not so like thirsty, be like, yo, sign with me. That's like what you need to find, is like where it's like some dude that's like, you genuinely feel like, yo, like I need to hit this person up, be like, yo, let's get the paperwork done. Like if it's the other way around, where it's like them being like, yo, like there's a limit on this, there's a deadline, like you got to sign it, it's non-negotiable.
Yes.
Then it's like, all right, like, whoa, like why are you trying to force me to do this right now? You know what I'm saying? And we had that genuine connection from the jump. Like Jacob didn't really like, of course he was like, yo, like I'm trying to get you out in Atlanta, like let's lock in and stuff. And I was like, hell yeah, let's do that. But there was no forcing, there was no rushing, like nothing like that, you know? And it was like, all right, that's when I knew, like, yeah, he genuinely sees me. And the thing about it, bro, is like, he's a producer, I'm a producer. So it's bigger than like managers, because it's like managers don't understand our talent the way producers do. So me and Jacob kind of come from the same, like we understand each other because we're producers in a way that managers wouldn't understand us, and in a way that A&Rs wouldn't understand us. Like that's the biggest thing to me.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and I think it's really dope and smart that you still got Adam involved, even though you trust him, and that was your brother. Adam's the lawyer, because a lot of producers, especially if they don't have a lawyer already, they get the contract from the producer, and they're just ready to sign it.
Yeah.
And it's oftentimes, I've seen many instances of this, that like Jacob could have the best intentions in the world, but he's not talking about every little detail with his lawyer. So there's a lot of little stuff that the lawyer might not tell him that, or emphasize, like this is a thing that Sim might not want in it. And so just by having your lawyer involved and still negotiate it, I mean that's really valuable. And I think something that people got to do. Let's speak about Adam a little bit. I know you're a big fan of working with Adam. The more I loved working with Adam, I credit basically all of this to Adam. I wouldn't have the foundational understanding of the industry if I wasn't working for Adam as the producer space. So like, and the more I work with other lawyers, the more I become even more grateful for Adam, like on some real shit. But what would you say? How would you describe Adam? Like, what do you like about working with Adam, or some things to look for in a lawyer?
Adam comes clean every time. He'll let you know, like, even if I'm super excited about something, like he'll kind of put me in my place sometimes and be like, all right, like relax, like,
he really does not filter anything.
I love that, bro. That's what I've needed. Like he's taught me so much since I started. Just from the jump, not even understanding paperwork and what else could be in like certain agreements that I really needed to know, and he'll always be like super, like anytime I call him, he'll pick up real fast and just let me know like what the deal is, if I have questions or whatever. And he's always taking care of me. It's like we find people, and it's like I'm so lucky to kind of build with this person for like from the jump. I've never had another attorney. I don't need another attorney because I got him. It's like it's more than just giving him a retainer fee and just like he's looking at my agreements. It's more than that. Like we got 100%. Dinner literally like 2 weeks ago or last week. It was great, bro. Like we just chopped it up. It wasn't all about music and business. It was about just getting to know him better and him getting to know me better outside of music and business and stuff. And that's the kind of people you want to build with.
1,000,000%. And another thing is like, we kind of brushed over this, but this is a big deal for lawyers. You said that Adam told you that you might not be wanting, like he emphasized, I don't think you should sign with another producer, right? A lot of lawyers will push you into signing deals because they get paid way more when you sign that deal. And the more I get into it, and the more I'm working with other lawyers, see how other lawyers work business, I see how prevalent that is. I've seen other lawyers say, this is something, I'll help you with this deal. Yeah, we'll try to push it through. I think this is a great deal. Then I took it to Adam, the same deal. He's like, I don't think you should do this, bro. Like, this is not something, and that is something, like, if you notice your lawyer is doesn't push you into signing deals or is pushing you, like, just take note of that, like, for real. So that's a big thing,
bro. That's crazy too, because I feel like I'm lucky to find him so early and not somebody else that's just trying to take advantage. Because I know guys who are signing big co-pub deals and they got big advances, and the attorney was gonna get a percent, and it's like, all right, let's just go for the biggest deal possible. But it's like, nah, Adam won't be like that. Like, he'll always genuinely want the best for us.
1,000,000%. Yeah. So what about I want to take it to your sample packs now too. So what was your, like, what made you really take seriously pushing samples online, like selling sample packs?
I think it's not even about selling the sample. It's more so like just kind of like giving my sound more exposure. You know what I'm saying? And of course, like, the best way to do that is through placements, but it's like for guys that are still like kind of for guys that are producing just like me, for them to use my sounds as like inspiration and whatnot, that's like, I love that idea. You know what I'm saying? It's the same way. It's like, all right, people are listening to my placements. They're getting value out of it. They're really liking the sounds and stuff, but now they get to kind of utilize it in their own way. And not only that, I feel like I'm just like, I'm so much more than a producer. You know, I'm like more of an entrepreneur where it's like we're really running a business here where it's like we have value to give to these guys who are coming up. And it's like, why not make the most of it? You know, why not get on the content like I should be getting on right now?
Yeah.
And like certain things, like holding myself accountable to just like, you know, having the highest standard possible.
Yeah.
So like,
you said something interesting. It's like figure out how to make the best samples. Would you say that's like the best way to get into, you know, the placement side of the industry or maybe just in like producer space in general?
Yeah, I feel like it depends.
Most unique sample.
Yeah, I mean, for me, that's definitely been having the best samples is really what has got me to this point. You know, is because I'm so glad I focused on my sound before. Because drums are like, I'm not gonna say drums are easy because people, you know, a lot of people don't know how to do drums, but I just feel like you can be so much more creative with just like having your own sound with the melodies and really pushing like a whole new wave. Like even like the song I had with Jacob and Lil Baby or Waterfall Flow, like that sound is like a new sound for Baby.
Yeah.
That I'm still like, I want to promote that as much as I can, get Baby like really a lot of these kinds of sounds because it's like we have the ability to really like push. We're the ones, so sample makers are the ones that start from scratch. We start with a blank canvas. Yeah. And then a drummer will go off of us, rapper will go off of them, engineer will go off the rapper. Like we're the ones that have nothing on the you know portfolio. Like we're the ones that start from nothing. So that's what I love the most about it is because we get to really like kind of curate like the whole idea from scratch. Yeah, so that's the best part to me.
So I am not a producer myself. I'm sure there's probably some young producers that know terminology. Yeah. So I'm gonna ask you this selfish question: what's like the difference between like a starter and like a sample and a one shot? And, like, all that type of stuff? Can you just break down the difference?
So all right, loops, samples, compositions, same thing. Loops, samples. I like to call them samples because I feel like anybody can make loops. Loops sound cheap to me. Loops sound like I made this in 10 minutes. Now, starter is like, let's say I take my sample and I dumb it down. I have like...
Dumb it down.
As in like, all right, so I have like 10 sounds in the sample, but now I take out 5 of the sounds. So now I have 5 sounds in the sample, and now it's a starter because now I could send it to somebody to work on. They could add like different sounds to it and stuff like that. Another sample maker. That's what a starter is like, all right, I'm going to start an idea, but I don't really want to finish it, so I'm just going to send it to another producer I know that could kill the rest of it. No drums, just the sample. And that's another gem too, bro.
One shot? Yeah, is that a thing too?
Yeah. One shots are like, so we have VSTs where it's like you get sounds off of like, you know, there's like Omnisphere, there's Contact, there's other like VSTs that you get sounds from. Like there's synthesizers. But one shots are just like waveforms of the synthesizers, if that makes sense. So it's like you can just drag and drop sounds real quick. You don't have to load up a VST or nothing. And that's why it's so convenient is because it's like there's no CPU loading, RAM loading. I know I'm going into terminology a lot, but it's like producers will understand what I'm saying. That's why
it's not for me.
That's why we use like, you know, one shots is because it's just like it's convenient. You could just drag and drop real quick compared to like loading up a VST or something like that.
Got you. So how has your process for getting your samples out? I guess you kind of answered this, but like nowadays, are you sending like loops out to tons of people? Like, what's your kind of routine for that?
That's a good question, bro. I think honestly, like I wasn't the most consistent when recently I wasn't the most consistent sending stuff out, but that also creates demand when you're not the most consistent, which I love. If you have the brand, if you have the value there, it's like people are going to beg you to send them stuff. Like, yo, Sim, I need a new pack, bro. Please send some new stuff because I'm not sending stuff so frequently. So it's like even though it is like a flaw of mine where it's like, yo, I need to start sending packs more, it's like it also creates like demand, like I said, where it's like, yo, like they need packs from me. So I think but at the same time, like of course I'm missing out on stuff if I'm not sending stuff regularly. You know what I'm saying? So now it's like
perspective there.
And now it's like there's something called mail track where it's like, all right, you can get a whole bunch, and this is a gem for all sample makers, whatever. But you could kind of get a bunch of guys on like the same campaign, and you could send everybody the same thing and kind of personalize it and just make it unique. You know what I'm saying? And that's what.
So what's MailTrack? That's a software. It's like a MailChimp type of thing, or
yeah. So you can just see who's read your email and you know who's checking your stuff because you don't want to just be sending stuff to an email that's not even active. Yeah. You know.
Gotcha.
And that helps a ton.
Yeah. So. Is there anything that you would do? Well, what's your process for putting together a sample pack from beginning to end when you're putting them together?
I think
like
it's
the ones you're selling online.
Yeah. I think it's like just getting a general vibe of like what it's gonna sound like, you know, because it's like I'm not just gonna put a whole bunch of sounds that just are like all over the place together. I think it's really important to get like a general, like even for the Back to the Moon, the bundle I dropped, it was like a lot of vibes just like Back to the Moon. I even included that sample in it so people could kind of listen to it and take it in as inspiration. And just like kind of, I love the whole idea of like, you know, getting the artwork done and thinking of the name for it. Like I love all that, bro. It's like, it's fun. It's like, it's more than just getting placements and, you know, it's like you got a whole brand behind you.
Do you put any terms in there? Like, I've never bought a sample pack myself, so I don't know how producers usually do it. So like, how does that work for you?
So it's really common for guys to do royalty free. I don't do royalty.
After they sell them, and then it's like royalty free after that?
Yeah, it's like, all right, if anybody gets their hands on the sample pack and they use any of the samples, it's royalty free. Like, you know, me as the seller of the sample pack, I wouldn't get any, but I never do that. I you know, I always like include the terms where it's like, all right, whatever we do, like here's my business email, and once you get the placement or whatever you do with this, like reach out to me and we'll figure out business, you know? And it's flexible, of course. You know, it's never like one way. It's like, oh, if you use one of these, you have to make sure I get certain percent. You know, it's always going to be
reach out and get cut in after that.
Yeah, exactly. And again, bro, like I said before, like that's what always helps with business is like having the relationships, not just like thinking of it as, all right, like this guy has good samples, let me use his samples. We're not really connected like that, but you know, our lawyers will figure it out. Like that's kind of how the industry is, which is so sad, but it's like I'm gonna be flexible with whoever I'm working with. You know what I'm saying? But not in a way where it's like, all right, they can take advantage of me. More so it's like we can figure things out together where it's like, all right, like I don't feel like this is fair. Or they might say like, nah, I think I deserve more here. And we'll kind of, you know, like find a middle ground.
Yeah.
So,
do you ever worry about people kind of stealing your samples? Like, do you check in on that? Or
you're
not stressed about that? Just keep it. Yeah, it's not worth your mental space probably, right?
Not only that, bro, I just feel like good things can come out of it. Like if somebody wants to steal one of my samples and it's a hit song, like we have all the leverage. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna just hit Adam up. Adam's gonna reach out to them. Like boom. Like why would I be worried about that?
1,000,000%. That is a perspective that's not talked about enough. People start getting stressed out when their shit is used without it. But like Adam taught me this for sure. Like if the song comes out and they haven't paid you for it and the song's already out and they haven't reached out, we have the leverage. So we could probably get more than we would if the song wasn't out. So like that needs to be talked about more. Yeah.
But then at the same time, you need to worry about like you need to make sure you're also prioritizing like the relationships and not burning no bridge. Of course, if somebody's stealing your stuff, then by all means, like of course they deserve whatever's coming at them. But it's like when certain things happen, you got to kind of know how to maneuver through and really make sure you're not burning no bridges by doing certain things, you know. And that's one thing I feel like attorneys, and I'm not talking about Adam, like I just think it's in general where it's like, of course they're gonna help you get paid, but it's like they don't understand like kind of the street smarts of it. You know, it's like, we're getting paid and we're trying to hunt down these songs and stuff, but at the same time, it's like there's certain side that we kind of have where it's like we need to protect our reputation. We need to, and of course, it's like we need to get paid at the same time, but it's like also, it's like there's a middle ground between like, all right, let's just screw these people and get paid compared to like, all right, like this could have been a mistake or something. Let's not come on them like they stole our stuff or anything, and we'll just figure it out. And I've had situations like that where me and Adam have handled it so well. And, you know, we're not like blaming nobody for nothing. We're just kind of like saying like, yo, we were a part of this. Like we need our credit. Like,
how did that? So we talked about one song, and I'm not going to say what song it was, but we talked about one song that came out and like, didn't they credit somebody else or something like that? How'd you wind up resolving that one in particular?
Exactly that, bro. Just like I told you, where it's like, all right, Adam, like we don't have to come at them like they stole our stuff and we want to sue them and we want to get the most money out of it. Like, nah, we're just going to be like, yo, we were part of this. And I think the biggest mistake producers make is going on social media. I'm not going to say it's the biggest mistake because sometimes it's like, all right, like for some guys it works. Yeah. But like I can't ever see myself going on Instagram and just like ranting about how like I didn't get certain thing paid or like somebody stole my loop or something. There's nothing like people get things solved like that. And that's fine. You know, everybody's different. But for me, it's like I just feel like it's so unprofessional and I just like I wouldn't ever just hop on there. Like I just talk to Adam and me and Adam are gonna chop it up and figure out who their attorney is and we'll reach out to them and then boom, like we're gonna settle it, we're gonna resolve it.
I co-sign that for sure. Like I like people are taking note. Somebody took note of like, all right, I'm not working with this guy because if anything happens, like,
exactly.
I'm not working.
And you know what's crazy is like I literally reached out to a producer that was coming up one time and he did that. He just lashed out on Instagram and I kind of told him like, bro, like people are gonna look at you in a different way now. Like you're kind of hurting your own brand by doing all this because it's gonna be like certain guys are gonna be like, yo, like I don't want to work with this dude.
Yeah,
so it's
for
like,
sure. And one of my producers, so I mentioned on my story, like a song came out, I said, yo, shout out this producer, but now it's time to get paid. And one of my producers reached out, I was like, yo, you know, probably don't say that because then people are gonna know that, you know, sometimes I'm not getting paid for a placement. You know what I mean? So it's like that is also another perspective too to consider. You know what I mean? Like, you know, other producers might know, oh, why am I going to collab with this guy if he's not getting paid for a placement, I guess, right? So,
yeah.
but yeah, he's going to get paid, this producer. It's just,
Exactly.
that might seem like it, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's something to consider. Yeah, so just last thing on the samples, is there anything in the sample process, like making the packs and packaging them up and like, you know, releasing them that you would do differently or that you learned from, you know, releasing 5 packs or whatever it's been at this point?
Yeah, that's a good question. But I think some of the most important things are, of course, like having good artwork, you know, and just making sure
Your last artwork was insane.
You liked it?
Yeah, the Back to the Moon one was insane.
My boy went crazy.
Yeah.
I think it was probably Gary, because I got a couple of like options from certain guys, and you know they're all fire, they're all talented, but I think Gary came through and you know really got the job done what I was wanting.
So artwork goes far, you'd say.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Artwork, and then also just like your brand. You know, it's like you can have mid samples, but if you have a really good brand, bro, if people really know who you are and stuff, like they're gonna sell.
Yeah.
So it's like, but at the same time, that's not taken away from the fact that like the samples need to be high quality. You know, for me, it's like my sound comes before anything.
Hey guys, just really quickly wanted to interrupt in case you missed the introduction to this video. So Sim is giving away his Back to the Moon sample pack, which we're talking about right now, for 20% off to the first 50 people who DM him on Instagram and mention producer royalty. And this multi-kit includes 25 original composition samples, over 100 drum sounds, over 100 one-shots, and a full melody and drum MIDI. And if you go to the link below, there's a free demo version which you could check out that includes some of the sounds in the kit. The kit has gotten amazing feedback by the community so far, so if you want to start building with one of the industry's most up-and-coming producers, all you have to do is DM Sim on Instagram and mention producer royalty, and you'll be able to get the kit for 20% off. Now back to the episode.
I wouldn't be here without my sound, bro. So all the business stuff I've got is because of my talent with music.
Okay.
So I can never put that on the back burner. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the music has got to come first, of course, like having the highest quality samples. And there's so many ways to improve your music, bro. It's like YouTube is a free, there's so many gems on YouTube that you can find of guys breaking down samples and beats and all that kind of stuff. But then, you know, of course, the artwork, a good amount of sounds as well. And then also like collabing with guys, like how me and Kavi kind of did like a collab kit. Because then you kind of bring both worlds together, and it's like that's always gonna be, you know, something special.
Yeah,
like,
that's interesting. Yeah, I wanna start doing that. Although I don't make samples, like partnering with other producers and like dropping kits with them, so that'd be fire. So, how do you show what sounds are like? You don't release all the sounds that are in the kit, right? You just tease a couple of them to show what the vibe is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
Yeah. And honestly, like there's always better ways of doing it, where it's like I can have somebody like I could record it on OBS and actually like go through the sounds and actually get like higher quality like MP3 version. I just got a little lazy with the last kit. And
What's
just
OBS?
OBS is like so you can record your screen on your laptop.
Okay, yeah,
so like whatever you're doing is like.
So they're not gonna really steal it off of that because it sounds shitty, right? But they can tell what it sounds like.
Yeah. But it's not even for like people not to steal. It's not even for that. It's more so like me just like not wanting to like find an editor to go ahead and just get the sound. But I should do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm always like big on like whatever I'm not doing, bro. I will tell you guys about. And that's what I need to like. It's not like everything. Oh, I got all these placements and everything's all good. Like there's always more room to improve. You know what I'm saying? And so like that's one thing is just getting more content done and getting out there. But you know, back to the sample packs, like I was saying, like it's just important. Also, like just the timing. The timing of everything is also very important. Like I just had something with Nike come, and like.
Congrats
for
on
me,
that shit, bro.
Nah,
That's
appreciate it, bro.
Insane. That shit was so crazy.
I want to shift to that for a second, bro, because it's like when I hit Adam about that, like Nike sent an email about it.
Yeah.
First thing it says is hello with no capital H. So I was like, all right, like Adam, I screenshot it. I said it to Adam. I was like, do you think this is legit? He was like, all right, it might be, whatever. Like, we'll see.
Yeah.
And then we just kind of, you know, put it to the side for a little bit. And then like probably like a couple of days later, they sent a huge email about like the terms. And we're like, oh shit, like this seems legit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's so crazy. Because you would expect it to be like, yo, this is Nike.
Professional, you know, at least like
so
some kind of.
Don't sleep on it. Like, check your emails because you don't know what's going to be in there. Dead ass.
That's what's crazy,
just
bro.
Respond to people. Even if it seems like a scam, maybe just see where it goes. emails because some people just want to clear it, or like, you know, some people just don't know how to send good emails. So
Exactly,
I've noticed
bro.
that too. There's a lot of like, I would expect this company, I've noticed that a lot actually,
Yeah.
to send some real professional looking email, and they don't. So yeah, that's
It's crazy. But
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
that's definitely a blessing, bro.
Word.
Because like I
That's
talked
major.
about, you know, in the my caption of it too, like me and my dad grew up watching so many games, so many basketball games, football games, and like he's always supported my music. That's been the biggest thing is my parents' support, you know. Especially being Indian too, bro. I'm supposed to like be an attorney or like a doctor or something, like, but they're like, nah, like you staying home all day, you're in your room cooking, like making beats, like for sure, we love that. You're not out. We know where you are.
Yeah.
And like it's just crazy seeing it come full circle like that. You know what I'm saying? Where he can be sitting there watching like the Knicks play, and he could see that commercial and hear my music in the back. Like it's it's crazy, bro.
Yeah, damn, bro. You are growing quickly, and
Hell yeah.
you sold me some of the songs coming out soon. So, yo, your catalog's about to be insane, bro.
I appreciate
It's
it,
crazy.
bro.
I appreciate you giving me this interview, bro. This was amazing, and you know, I know the community gained a lot from this. So, thank you so much, bro. I
Hey,
appreciate
man.
you, OD.
We're gonna continue to build, bro. What Daniel's doing with this too is like it's special. You know, you kind of got your own brand going. You got your own little lane that nobody's really feeling. So,
Yeah.
you know, I'm super excited for what you got coming as well.
Thank you, bro. Yeah, trying to provide the content, like the educational part, but also the service part too.
Hell
Because
yeah.
as you know, the tracking down payments part is hard. So
Absolutely.
But we appreciate y'all. This was a great episode, and yeah, we'll be back for another one soon.
Thank you, brother.